Do you find yourself reaching for that third cup of coffee just to make it through the afternoon? Does your child seem constantly wired yet somehow exhausted, struggling to focus at school, but unable to wind down at night? Well, you're not alone. What you're experiencing is actually a cortisol addiction. This neurological dysfunction isn't just affecting adults, it's becoming increasingly common in your children. The constant fight or flight state has become our new normal, and it's wreaking havoc on the family's health and well being. The worst part, many of the solutions you've been offered, from ADHD medications for your child to that extra shot of espresso for yourself, are actually perpetuating the very cycle you're trying to break. This video is for exhausted parents whose children struggle with focus, hyperactivity, anxiety, or mood swings, especially if conventional care plans haven't provided lasting relief. It's also for parents who themselves feel constantly drained, wired, and dependent on stimulants just to get through the day. We're revealing how modern society has trapped both children and parents in a chronic stress cycle, creating a literal addiction to stress hormones. You learn how this cortisol addiction masquerades as ADHD or anxiety, why medications often make the problem worse, and a neurological approach that can help your whole family break free from the cycle. Now, the statistics are alarming. According to recent data, ADHD diagnosed in kids have nearly doubled in the past 20 years, with stimulant prescriptions following suit. Yet these medications don't address the underlying neurological imbalance. In our practice, we consistently see families where both children and parents are caught in the stress cycle. The child is prescribed stimulants for focus issues, while the parent relies on caffeine, creating mirror image patterns of nervous system dysfunction. The connection becomes clear when we understand that many of these children experience some form of birth intervention or trauma, forceps, vacuum extraction, C-sections, which can create the initial neurological imbalance that sets up this cortisol addiction from the start. So let's talk about cortisol addiction and its connection to the autonomic nervous system. Cortisol addiction occurs when the body becomes dependent on stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, for energy, focus, and daily functioning. It's not a clinical diagnosis, but a physiological state where the body is adapted to chronically elevated stress hormones. Your autonomic nervous system has two main branches: the sympathetic fight or flight and the parasympathetic rest, digest, and restore. These should work in balance, with the parasympathetic activated for emergencies and the parasympathetic predominant for healing and restoration. In cortisol addiction, the nervous system becomes stuck in sympathetic dominance, constantly pumping out stress hormones. Over time, the body begins to require these hormones just to function, creating a vicious cycle. Excuse me. So here's how birth trauma sets the stage for a cortisol addiction. Birth interventions like forceps, vacuum extraction, C-sections, and even induction can create physical trauma to the delicate upper neck and brainstem area of newborns, causing subluxation, misalignment, tension, and neurological interference in the nervous system. When subluxation occurs in these key areas, it directly impacts the vagus nerve and autonomic function, often shifting a child immediately into a sympathetic dominance from the very beginning of life. This neurological imbalance can manifest initially as colic, reflux, or sleep issues in infants, but as children grow, it frequently appears as focus issues, hyperactivity, emotional dysregulation, and other behaviors commonly diagnosed as ADHD or anxiety. Now let's get into the modern lifestyle factors that perpetuate this cycle. Our modern environments bombard developing nervous systems with stimulation. Screens emit blue light that trigger cortisol production. Processed foods spike and crash blood sugar, and constant activity leaves little time for parasympathetic recovery. Children with an already dysregulated nervous system often seek intense stimulation, risk-taking behavior, screen time, sugar, as a way to get the dopamine and cortisol that hit their brain cravings. Parents mirror this pattern with caffeine dependence, busy schedules, and their own screen addictions, creating family-wide patterns of sympathetic dominance. Now, the medication trap that makes things worse, Well, when children display signs of sympathetic dominance, they're often prescribed stimulant medication like Adderall or Ritalin, which temporarily boosts focus by further activating the sympathetic nervous system. These medications don't address the underlying neurological imbalance, they actually reinforce it, potentially making the child even more dependent on sympathetic activation for basic functioning. Parents often don't realize they're caught in the same trap of caffeine, energy drinks, and chronic stress, which keeps their nervous system in sympathetic overdrive. So, how does neurologically focused chiropractic care break the cycle? Well, rather than masking the signs, neurologically focused chiropractic care addresses the root cause of cortisol addiction by identifying and correcting subluxation that interferes with proper autonomic function. Using advanced technology like the Insight scans, we can detect where neurological imbalance exists and develop a personalized care plan to restore proper function. Each specific adjustment helps release stuck stress from the nervous system, activating the parasympathetic branch and allowing the body to shift out of fight or flight into the rest and restore mode naturally. Breaking the cycle of cortisol addiction requires a comprehensive approach that addresses the root neurological cause. At Vanilla Chiropractic, we specialize in helping families reset their nervous systems naturally, without relying on medications that only mask signs. Our approach combines neurologically focused chiropractic care with practical lifestyle strategies that support parasympathetic activation, like improved sleep hygiene, reduced screen time, breathing techniques, time in nature, and nutritional support. The Insight scans we use provide a clear window into your family's nervous system function, allowing us to develop a customized care plan that addresses your specific needs. Many parents tell us they're amazed at how quickly both they and their children begin to feel more balanced, with improved focus, better sleep, and reduced dependence on stimulants. If you're ready to break free from cortisol addiction, cycle, and help your whole family thrive naturally, click the link in our bio to schedule a consultation and Insight scan. During this initial visit, we'll take the time to truly listen to your family's history, conduct a thorough neurological assessment, and determine our approach that's right for you. Don't let another day go by trapped in the stress cycle. Take the first step towards neurological balance and discover what true health feels like for your entire family.